the longer you spend with the person, the more attached you will get to that person. You're going to remember everything about the person. And if you experience a breakup, you're going to have this experience of detachment, where basically it's been ripped apart, and it's one of the most painful things that you can imagine. Hello everyone, this is Geoffrey Henderson. Appreciate you coming to our Innocent Love channel. Thank you so much, guys. So today we're going to have another topic that I want to talk about. So today what we're going to talk about is the pain of breakup, okay? There's a lot of pain in breakup, I'm sure some of you guys already know that, okay? It is extremely painful. So that's one thing that I want to talk about today. If you're in such a situation right now, my sympathy goes with you. I hope that you will recover soon from that pain. I know it sucks. I know it's so bad, but I'm here to talk about it. Hopefully I can give you some encouragement. Hopefully I can give you some guidance and stuff like that. So with that said, let's get right to it, okay? I'm going to have 5 things I want to talk about regarding the pain of breakup. The first one that I want to talk about is that when this first happens to you, when you first experience the breakup, hold on, let me take us back for a second. Let me first say something, okay? Very important, okay? In order to have pain in breakup, you first have to be really in love with that person, okay? Let me make this very clearly, okay? Because this does not apply to every couple, okay? Some couples break up and they're happy because, they didn't like each other to begin with. Or maybe one person didn't like the other person, and the person that didn't like the other person, he didn't mind breaking up, so he has no pain, okay? So let me categorize it. This is only for those people who actually really loved each other, or one person loved the other person and the other person broke up with him, anything like that. That's the type of pain I'm talking about, okay? So let's clarify that. So again, number 1, the first thing that you're going to experience if this happens, especially if you've been together for a long time, is you have a set of unbelief, okay? You're not going to believe what the frick just happened just now, okay? You're going to be in such an unbelief, especially if you have been together for a long time, like more than 2-3 years. You already got so used to the person. You already know that person is part of your life. That person is so close to you, and all of a sudden that person left you or just decides to break up with you. You're going to be in complete unbelief, okay? And this is going to be something that you really probably not going to be expecting, obviously, until it actually happens, So that's the first thing. You're going to have this unbelief feeling, what the heck just happened right now? And that's going to be the first thing that you're going to be experiencing when you have a breakup, and part of the pain of breakup. Number 2 that I want to talk about is that you're going to have a detachment happening. Detachment, okay? You're going to have this feeling of the person being ripped apart out of your heart, out of your life, because you're not just physically attached to the person, but you're also mentally, emotionally attached to the person in so many ways that you probably don't even know, especially if you've been together for such a long time. The longer you spend with the person, the more attached you will get to that person. You're going to remember everything about the person. And if you experience a breakup, you're going to have this experience of detachment, where basically it's been ripped apart, and it's one of the most painful things that you can imagine. Sometimes in my mind is I rather would endure physical pain than pain of a broken heart, of a breakup. It is so devastating and in a breakup. I personally experienced that. I'm sure that some of you guys have experienced it, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video, or maybe you're just curious, so I appreciate you watching it. But it is a devastating feeling. It is a hopeless feeling. It is a feeling that makes you just cringe and cry and scream up the top of your lungs. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. It is so freaking painful. So I feel you guys if you go through this. I'm so sorry that you go through this, but I have some encouragement too, but that's going to be on another video, okay? We're just simply talking about the pain of the breakup. And then the next video, which is going to be next week, not this week, but next week, is going to be where I'm going to talk about how to deal with the pain with the breakup, but that's going to be a different video. So anyway, number 3 that I want to talk about is the pain of being alone at home. Okay, so basically, let's say, for example, you live together with that person and the person lives with you every day, and all of a sudden that person leaves you and breaks up with you. One of the least places that you want to go through is going back to your home, the very place where you spend all this time with that other individual special person, okay? That's the last place you want to go. But however, in this world, we have no choice. We have a place to stay. If you have another place to stay, that's great. But going back to the place where you've been with that person for so long, it's going to be excruciating painful, because everything is going to remind you on that person. When you go into the bed, you're probably going to smell her perfume or his perfume. Or when you go into the bathroom, you may see his toothbrush still in the sink. You go into the kitchen, you see his favorite or her favorite food in the kitchen. You may turn on the TV and you'll see a movie that you've been watching together all the time together. There's going to be so many things that's going to remind you, the other person, that this is the last place that you want to be. It is so painful when you see everything that reminds you. And that's the other thing, is that all of a sudden the things that didn't matter to you in your house all of a sudden will matter you, because everything will remind you on the other person. Whether it's the clothes or the carpet. You may even see that person's footsteps in the carpet being embedded in for so many times, because that person kept walking back and forth in your living room, and you have to endure watching these footprints every day when you walk into your own apartment or own house. Everything is going to remind you on the other person, and this is also excruciatingly painful, having to endure that. Okay, it is. Oh my gosh, So everything will remind you on the other person. Okay, number 4 that I want to talk about is you're going to have a sense of desperation. Once it starts sinking in that you really lost that person, because sometimes, we have this denial going on where we really not really quite sure if this is for real, maybe you're just dreaming it or stuff like that. You're not really believing it. You're going to realize that it is for real. It is for real. Days have gone by, weeks have gone by. The person hasn't called you back yet, and it's the person that's gone out of your life. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Okay? What are you going to do? And what happens is then all of a sudden the desperation sinks in. You're trying to figure out, and you're trying to rationalize of this cannot be, and you're trying to fix it. You're trying to put together the puzzle. What happened? Okay? And you're going to have this desperation where you're just desperate. You don't know what to do. You're screaming, you're crying. You have to call your friends. You have to call your mother. You need somebody to talk to, somebody to listen to you. And you're going to simply just express these feelings, these loving feelings that you had towards the other person. You're going to start expressing it in so many different ways. And it basically gives you a desperate feeling inside of your heart. And you start, like I said, you're going to start calling your friends. You're going to be talking with people that you have never talked for a long time, or maybe you haven't talked to for a long time. You're going to be talking for a long time to that person, just to kind of like be distracted of the feeling of this pain inside of you, that you don't have to think about that. Okay? Number 5, and that's the last one, is that you're going to be dreaming about the person. Okay? because we are so desperate and we are detached, it's not only going to haunt us physically and emotionally, but it's also going to haunt us in our spirit, in our mind, in our dreams. Okay, our body needs to work out the problems, and it's expressing its way in so many different ways, and not just physically, but also in your dreams. So you're going to be starting to dream a lot about that person, probably every night, is at least at the beginning, because your brain is still processing the fact of detaching, and you dreaming about that person is for your body to continue to keep the connection between you and that partner that you just lost. You know, it takes a while from the body, your emotions, to detach from that feeling and from the love, and you're gonna start having all kinds of dreams about that person just to kind of comfort you. Some of those dreams can be like very sad. Some other ones can be like where you're still together and happy. But every dream that you're going to have, and I'm telling you this from my own experience, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be freaking crying. Okay, you're going to be freaking crying, and it is very, 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 very painful. And I wish there was something that I could give you or do to make it feel better, but unfortunately there's not. You just have to deal with the pain and go through this. Okay, and like I said before, I will talk about that in the next video next week, when I'm going to be talking about what you can do to deal with the pain of a breakup. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about, guys. So if you guys have any other questions that you want to ask me, please leave it in the comment below, or any other suggestions or whatever, you know, just comment below. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this video, that you watched to the end. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you consider subscribing, if you haven't done so, if you like my content. And with that said, guys, we'll see you next time. Okay, peace out.